Hey there, everybody. I'm here with Juli, and we're excited to bring you information behind the scenes. There's so much that real estate professionals do behind the scenes to be able to provide so much for their community and for the consumer. And today I'm going to sit down with one of our top producers in the office. We're going to ask her some questions, but also so you can get to know her and know what she does for her community and get to see how much time and commitment it takes to be able to deliver the best we can for our consumers that we all love helping on a daily basis, and how we love giving back to our communities. So tune in, and if you ever have any questions, always reach out to us. Juli, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Great. So Juli, can you tell us a little bit about your real estate journey and how it started?
I had been teaching, and I was a little burned out on teaching because it's, as much as I develop my own curriculum, it's the same thing every year. Okay. And I love my students, but I was just burned out. So I had the opportunity to go and get my real estate license, and I felt like was the next thing I was supposed to do, the next place I was supposed to be. So got that, started with RE/MAX, though not here, and that was 6 years ago.
Okay. It's been amazing because you've covered a lot of ground in 6 years. You know, like you said, you started with RE/MAX, you didn't start directly with us, but once you came into RE/MAX Universal, from meeting you from day one, I've just noticed your growth and your commitment to the industry of what you're doing. What communities do you service?
Well, I service all of Northwest Houston, but I especially concentrate on Amira and areas around Amira. I've gone as far as New Caney and as far as Katy on the other side.
Okay.
So
one thing about you, Juli, since we've met, is you've really invested time into your internal growth from knowledge. And they always say that teachers make some of the best real estate professionals, okay? With Juli, I find that on point, okay? Because you took the content of what you needed to create and you've turned that into a business, okay? So when I say business for you for the real estate industry, you've been working as an individual agent up until recently, correct?
up until January 1st, yes.
So January 1st, you decided to change it onto a different level. Why did you do that?
Well, I had a couple of assistants who were helping me because my business just grew and I needed a little extra help with things that were not my forte, basically. And they were my family, my daughter and daughter-in-law. And so my daughter decided she wanted to get a real estate license, and we just felt like having a team was going to be the thing to do. She lives in Amira too. Don't want us to be competing against each other. So
that's going to make it fun though.
It is. No, I mean, we're doing it as a team. So we can advertise in Amira as a team. We do everything together. And it's nice having your family, my daughter and now my daughters-in-law, having us all working together.
Okay. So what's your favorite part so far since you started? I know we said we started in January, converting over to a team, and we had already had some discussion prior to that to get you prepared for what that was going to look like. But what has been some of your favorite takeaways so far from being able to convert over to a team?
Just that working more closely, I guess, with my family, being able to service more people, take care of more needs than I was being able to do before.
Okay. So what's one thing you love the most about helping your clients?
I love helping them to find the house that's really going to fit their needs. I love helping them to sell and get what they needed out of it. I tell my clients, my listing clients, I say, I don't want to just list your house. I want to sell your house. Okay. Because I don't want to just put a sign out there, put it on the MLS, and it is, sits. I want, that's it. It's miserable when you're selling your house. It's hard. You have to keep your house nice all the time. You have to let people come in. I want to minimize that time for them and help them to be able to move on to the next chapter of their life.
When we're top producing agents, such as yourself, when I say that word, you hear that a lot. You hear where people classify themselves as top producing agents, but when you go pull the volume, they really haven't done that much in volume, you know. So in your case, you are an actual top producing agent. You have the volume, you have the numbers, and you've done a lot of this in a short amount of time. But over the past couple of years, we've watched you grow. So now that you're converting over to a team, what is that going to allow you to do better for your clients, or continue to be able to have to deliver to them?
Well, it helps my clients because if for some reason they can't reach me, they have someone else that they can reach out to. I don't really turn things over to my team. I'm still the clients that I'm working with. Mm-hmm. I am still their main point of contact, but it gives us more ability to be able to take care of some things. Like if I'm showing a different client, my daughter or my daughter-in-law can step in. We can hold more open houses. We can do the things that just give even better service, really, to our clients.
And I think that's key right there, the things you mentioned, because the misunderstanding about a team is that you have all these realtors that go out and perform. That's not really the way some of our setups are, because there's a lot back-end support we need so that we can still be the front face and be the go-to person with our clients, right?
Right.
So that's kind of my setup, and that's kind of how you're set up as well, where you're going to have back-end support to also help you move faster. But it's important for us to have a structure and a system in place so that we can continue to deliver a certain service expectation.
Right. I never want something to fall off for my clients. I want to be there to meet the needs that they have.
Great. And that's what we love to hear at RE/MAX Universal. We love to hear the commitment and the time that you're putting in to make sure that you're developing a business strategy for your growth. But also the growth is not just about us as individuals. It's about being able to deliver to our community a good service and reputation of what we do, right? You've been able to grow in a certain community footprint at a very fast pace. What has that done for you when you're out in the community and you see people that you know on a daily basis? How important is that relationship?
It's very important. I mean, it's just making sure that I follow through on all of the things that I say are important. Trust, integrity, service. That's on my logo. It's the foundation of my house. It's the foundation of my business. Mm-hmm. And so I want those people in the community to feel like they already know me, like they can trust me, like I'm going to take care of them. Mm-hmm. And I do see that because, like, I had a client, I went to a listing appointment last night, and I met them and they said, "Oh, I feel like I already know you because I've seen all your stuff already in the community." I try to do everything on the community Facebook page to help people out. I offer to run tax comps for them, whether they're my clients or not. Mm-hmm. Answer questions. I even have people now tag me. "Oh, Juli will know." So, and that's what I want, is to feel like they feel like I'm actually trying to not just make a transaction, but to build that relationship, to build that service with the community.
And that's what we've seen over the years and the experience I have in the industry. I've seen that the more successful agents that actually take off faster and have the repeat business are the ones that actually care about the community and give back, of being connected, so we're going to the same grocery stores they are, we're going to the same gas stations to refill our fuel, or in some places the same recharging stations, right? But we're in the community, we're in the same areas that they are, so it matters to us to be able to have that facial recognition, but also the good name. You've just been really doing well at building your success with that. Let's talk a little bit about when you were transitioning into RE/MAX Universal. When you came over to RE/MAX Universal, I met with you, and the first thing that stood out to me was that you were already in a coaching program.
Yes.
And those type of things always stand out to me, because that means that you're willing to invest in yourself. You're willing to invest in your growth. But when you came over, what were you looking for? It
wasn't that I had a real problem with my last RE/MAX brokerage, because I liked the people there. I liked my broker, but I just felt like it was small and it was not like pushing to expand. Okay. With Universal, I could see that you were like a real go-getter. You're out there wanting to actually find the next thing that we need to move into, that we need to advance to, where we need to take the brokerage and take our businesses. And that's what I was looking for, something that would challenge me a little bit more, something that would grow me. And so that's what I found here.
What stood out to me was that I knew that you were going to be somebody that would take models and figure out how to incorporate them for you to win with, right? And this goes back to that teacher side when they say that teachers make the best real estate professionals, because if you can take the content and process it and actually put it into play, you win with it, and you're able to do those things. So why do you continue to pay for coaching and, pay for a higher cost of things to invest in yourself?
Well, so this is not my original idea, but it's something that I've heard is that, and I agree with, even if you look at professional sports figures, they don't just say, oh, I don't need a coach anymore. I'm the best wide receiver. I'm the best quarterback. I can just go out without a coach. They don't. Mm-hmm. And so to grow, to keep on expanding my business, I need someone outside of myself who can say, here's an idea, here, push this, try this. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I think you just kind of stagnate.
Yeah, or when we get to a point where we're stagnating, we need somebody to help pull us out sometimes, right?
Right.
And if you're not in the right group, it's easy to stay there. And imagine the loss that's happening during that time, right?
Right.
Or you've worked so hard to build where you're at, and then you're not realizing what's happening, So those are things that are very important. What was your first impression of working with me? No pressure.
You're outgoing. You are looking to push yourself and looking to push the brokerage. And I got the idea that you were competitive. And that matches with what I am. I'm very competitive. Mm-hmm. Not that I want to defeat somebody, mm-hmm. but competitive really even with myself.
Yeah.
I want to see that growth. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, I got the same thing this year as last year. Yeah. So, that appealed to me.
So a lot of people say I usually push people to get them out of their comfort zone. How's that?
No, that's what I need. Uh-huh. It's easy to just fit in your comfort zone, to never grow, to never move. It's like this comfortable old sofa that you're sitting in that now looks a little ratty. Yeah. And you really need to move on to something else. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to be in that comfort zone. I want to be always pushing for the expansion.
Part of what you said something there right now that it definitely stands out to me. It says we're competitive, but we're not competitive to bring our peers down, right? And I know that we're in a brokerage, and what we've created with our energy and everything, we're here to lift each other up. And you have been so gracious on sharing with some of the agents internally most places you'll see the open door policy. And then you go into the door and you don't get anything, you're like, well, what's the point of having the open door policy? Real estate offices, not everybody's in the office at the same time because we're out at appointments and things. But you've been very open to answering calls and building relationships with other real estate professionals in the company. How important has that been for you?
Well, these are people that I work with. I may not see them every day, but I don't really want it to be like, oh, I don't know you, or, oh, it's a collaboration, right? Mm-hmm. It helps me, it helps them. I'm going to put my listings out there on the agent site. I'm going to encourage everybody to come and bring their clients. I'm going to take my clients to their listings. It helps me to know what's going on. I love to see, even though I'm not under 40, I love to see that there's a YPG group. It helps my team members now because they are under 40. Mm-hmm. So that's something that can encourage them. If everybody grows, that grows everybody. I mean, that sounds a little trite, and I don't mean it like that, but I mean, it does. Everybody growing helps push everybody else to grow.
Yeah, and that's one thing about brokerages. Brokerages need to focus on market share. And so that's why we want everybody to win as much as possible, because market share is not just an advantage for the brokerage, but it's also an advantage for the consumer, right?
Right.
So the more market share we have in that area, the more that we can provide for buyers calling in for the seller's listings, or the more opportunity we can have for open houses or broker open house events. The reaction is going to be huge of what we can offer for the consumer in the area. And so we have been very focused on growth within the agents from any age group, but also any part of where they're starting in the industry, right? So you said you came out of teaching, went into real estate. At what point, being in this now, the years you've been in it, where did you start to see your business turn?
Well, it started growing. I mean, I already knew. My dad had been a broker. Okay. So I already knew you're not going to expect to just jump right in. I mean, I see all the time stories of people who do jump right in. I did, $100,000 the first year. I didn't expect that. I knew it was going to be a process of building. And so that's what I did. I mean, each year, one year I didn't grow quite as much, but each year has been growth moving forward. I always set my coach every time is like, okay, so what are your goals for this next year? Let's set your goals. Where are you going to be? And so I look at that all the time, and I want to expand those goals. I want that to just continue to build.
Okay. And so, well, somebody that's maybe watching this that's either just started in the industry, or let's say they're stuck where they've been doing it for 2 years and they're just not hitting the numbers they want, what kind of advice would you tell them?
Well, you have to change something. I mean, I see a lot where, you follow the system, and I don't disagree with that. I use pieces of a lot of the different systems, but you also have to make it your own. So, because you can't follow somebody else exactly perfectly. It has to still be you. And so, but that doesn't mean that you can't add new things. And so you might say, okay, sphere of influence. Of course, that's the big one, call all your sphere of influence. But if your sphere of influence isn't huge, then you got to add something else. And so what are you going to add? I've heard it said open houses work. Cold expired calling works, geographic farming works, but it's being consistent. So you have to choose the thing that you feel like fits you. They may all work, but it may not all be your comfort. So I know you have to get out of your comfort zone. That's not what I mean, but I might lean into your strengths, so see which method works well for you, and then push that, add that. Okay, and be consistent with it. When I first started doing the geographic farming, my coach said, don't even start unless you are willing to commit to at least a year. Okay, you're going to do it for a year, and you have to be consistent. And I did, and it's paid off. If you're going to do open houses, learn how to do open houses really well. Be consistent. Don't say, I did open houses for a couple weeks and I didn't get anything. So, I mean, that's what I see is, he's pushing me now to add another piece to go a little further. Good.
If you're watching this and you've been struggling in the industry, or maybe you've just been doing leases, there is a way to change what you're doing. But what Juli's saying is 100% correct. It's going to be consistency. And yes, we have a lot of different tools and systems, but one, if you're not going to use them, you're not going to grow, right? And then two, technology is a huge thing. So for me, being partnered with Remax, I don't have to reinvent the wheel. right? We get to do what we get to do, and we know that they're there taking care of our consumer awareness side, and then what we do on a local level is where we get to maximize how we grow. If you have a moment that you can share where you felt that the office or myself helped guide you through a scenario or something that helped you be able to grow.
Well, even starting the team, I mean, we can look just that recently, because I had no idea. What do I do? Where do I go? How is this going to work? How am I going to structure this team? What are all the specific expectations going to be? And you were able to walk me through that and give me ideas, you and my coach together, of how to be able to do that.
And we'll do follow-ups, right? So we'll have our one-on-ones, we'll do our follow-ups on that, because it's not where you can just overnight put it all on the plate, right?
Right.
And then there's going to be hiccups, there's going to be personalities, there's going to be all kinds of things when you're building, but making sure that we're there to support you along the way is going to be important. It's an important thing for me, but the office as well, behind the scenes, and it's so that y'all can grow together faster, but just to reiterate on that, you've done great at implementing all the systems, the tools, and you've been open-minded to so much change as well. What's one thing you want to try to accomplish for 2025?
To be able to expand my business, to be able to make sure that my team members are also successful. Okay. I don't want it to just all be my success. I want to see them succeed and meet their goals as well.
Sweet. Yeah. And that's important, right? So the right team leaders have the right focus on, it's not about just the team leader, it's about the growth of the individuals as well, right? Because we're leaders and we're supposed to help lead them to be profitable and supported in it as well. So what I like about our model, kind of what we have at RE/MAX Universal, is it's kind of like a team leader has a mini brokerage within a brokerage, right? So you're a licensed supervisor for your team. You're also a broker, so you get to support them, lead them, but we also get to be a part of helping them grow as well. But so our setup model is, I run my own team and I lead that team on and make sure that they're focused on what they're doing. You do yours. But at the end of the day, we all get to come together, and we get to help and push each other. You have invited a lot of non-team members to help with some of your open houses and different things in your communities. Is it helpful being a part of a brokerage and knowing that you can call down a list and find agents that are individual that can help with stuff? Oh,
yes, definitely. Because I can't, even adding team members, I can't take care of everything by myself. And so having those other agents that I know are in my same brokerage that I can call on, that's a big help.
So for me, those individual agents, when we're working with them as the brokerage, we want to make sure that they are doing the right things, that they're hosting the right open houses, that they are reputable with the name of what we offer. Do you see that when you reach out to them? That you feel like they walk the same values of what we're trying to make sure that RE/MAX Universal stands out for?
Yes.
Good. Well, I appreciate being here with you today and being able to chat with you and get some behind the scenes of what we do. So thank y'all for tuning in, and reach out to Juli and myself if you're interested in knowing more. If you're a consumer wanting a great representation, give Juli a call. They're amazing. But we're here to help you, whether you're looking to build your real estate career or whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or get your business matters handled. We're happy for you to reach out to us.